Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. It's time for Morning Manna. Morning fam, got a word for you on this morning. What a wonderful weekend we had. I hope you had a great Father's Day. I hope you had a wonderful time. I know I did. Man, I got this excellent gift from my family and oh my God, my lead elder and all, they jumped in together. I wish I could show it to you. It is tremendous. Got an iMac, and I'm going to go to work on that. But it's time for Morning Manna, and I hope that the men in your life, you celebrated, and we certainly did here in this house. I thank God for it. We're going to give Facebook Live just a couple more seconds to get the audience together. We're going to jump right into the word. Good morning, Manna fam. Now, if you're part of the Manna fam, you know the flow. If you don't, if you're not a part of the Manna fam, hey, join us every morning about this time. Hey, it's going to give you the text to talk and the takeaway. You got to give the hearts, the likes, and the sharing. That's what we do together. Got a word that I'm going to impart into you on this morning. Now, on yesterday, let me get right into the word, the text to talk and the takeaway. And this morning, I'm going to continue what I was dealing with yesterday in my message, Men Matter, Black Men Matter Too. I'm going to carry that out because yesterday, and I encourage you, go back and look at that message. If you didn't watch the message, if perhaps you a member of another church, you watched another church on yesterday, or you may have attended. I know people are going back to church. I would encourage you to get the basis of what I'm going to be dealing with. Black men matter. Black men matter too. And so on yesterday, I laid out the foundation, but I will tell you that the Spirit has just been all over me concerning this. So I'm going to continue this conversation and teaching this week. So I want to encourage you, go back yesterday to New Life Tube 1. New Life Tube 1, that's our YouTube channel. Check it out, or you can do Facebook Live. You can do our website as well, www.nlicic.org/live, and you can get the message as well. So let me kind of bring you up to date because this is going to be the basis of what I'm dealing with this week. Let me jump right into the word as we gather the audience. On yesterday, I dealt with this whole issue of men matter, black men matter too. And I gave 4 things that I shared with you and taught on. That God gave men power. God gave men a place. I stopped there and I expound on it to help people to understand the Garden of Eden is found in Africa, the continent of Africa, when the whole continents were together. The continental shelf was different than it is now. And so we find that there. So given that Garden of Eden was the place that God gave man power, was in the Garden of Eden. We find that in Africa. Earliest men have always been, we've always found earliest, the remains, I'm trying to say, of earliest man has always been in Africa. So I know that it's a pushback for a lot of people. They say, oh, that's racist talk. No, it's just the truth. You just never heard of it. And sometimes truth is offensive. And then I made the point yesterday, of course, that you get the variations. The darker the color, the more variation of the colors you can get from that. And white is the absence of color. So you can't get any color out of white. So you have to start with the darkest of color to get the variations of the world that we have right now. Okay, so it's the power of the place. And then we said that you got to be in position. Purpose, purpose and then position. That God gave man a purpose, then he put him in position. Now today, this morning, I'm going to push forward more on the whole position. I'm going to deal with all of these various P's throughout the week. But today I want to deal more with the whole thing about being in position. Being in position. So let's move forward with that. Here's the text that we're going to deal with this morning. The text is Genesis 2:22. The B portion of that, it says, he brought, God is he in this text. The pronoun is referring to God. God brought her to the man. God brought her to the man. God has now pulled woman out of the womb of man, made her a woman, and he brings her to the man. Now, Three things I want you to get as a result of this text. The first thing is that there is a connection. There has to be a connection, because in 127, Genesis 1:27, it gives you a different version of the creation story by saying that God created a man. He created both male and female. He created them. Okay, so you get this whole oneness right there. The two shall become one. Now, later in 2, it tells us, the second chapter, that the two shall become one. But they actually returning to their original design. God did a lot of things with man before he ever pulled the woman out of man. That means that we are two to become one. I saw a t-shirt, I thought it was great. A woman has one part on, a man has the other, and says, I'm not whole without him or her. I'm incomplete. That's so true. And so whether you're single right now, whether you are moving forward in any relationship right now, your completeness comes, the wholeness of who you are comes first with you becoming one. The number one is whole, and then two, and then you return to one. Okay, so the two become one. Connection. That's the first thing I want to share with you. The second thing I want to get to you is there has to be communication. Has to be communication. Now in 2:17, God tells man this. He says to man, look, you can do anything you want in this garden, but that tree over there, good and evil, I need you to stay away from that. Adam, I need you to stay away from that. God communicated to Adam, and you already know the story. Here's number 3. Counter. They could not counter the enemy because there was never any communication. They were connected. They did not communicate, so they could not counter. 3 and 8 says she gave the fruit, she gave the disobedience to Adam, who was right there. So they're together when the enemy comes to attack them, but they cannot counter, though they are connected, for failure of communication. Adam, hey man, look bro, you have had several verses to tell her what the deal is. Now, you may say, now, Bishop, man don't talk. I really have a problem with that. Maybe because I am a talker and I share, I like to communicate. But I believe that it's an incumbent upon you to be a leader. Now, notice he gave men leadership power in 1:27 and 28. He says, I'm going to give you power. I'm going to give you the ability to rule, have dominion. We're going to deal with that tomorrow. But this is what the deal is. In order to lead anywhere, you've got to be able to communicate the vision. You got to be able to communicate the vision. So you got to ask yourself, and there's all kinds of theories and theological inserts as to what is really going on here, how he can't communicate in this time in which the enemy comes to both of them. I don't know. I'm not sure, but let's speculate. Could it have been that she was doing more of the talking than him? Could it be? You need, sometimes in order for there to be communication, somebody got to listen and somebody got to talk. So here we go. They're connected. They fail to communicate. So when it's time to counter the enemy, they're unable to do it. What's your takeaway this morning? What's your takeaway? Because black men in particular, we got to get this squared away. Here it is. Your takeaway is this. Black men matter most when both are in position. Black men matter most when both are in position. From slavery to now, we always got to stay together. Both of us got to be in our right position. The moment the two of us are out of position, the enemy is going to take us out. Hey, the Lord be with you. May his face shine upon you, give you peace. I got more of this all week long. We're going to be dealing with men matter. Black men matter too. God bless you. Share the manna. May His face shine upon you and give you peace. Bye now.